Hello, Dreamcatchers, and welcome to another exciting day in the Writer's Haven. This is Helena back with another exciting show. Joining me today is Rhonda Lyle. Rhonda is the founder and CEO of the Scholarship Strategist and is the author of Warrior Mom: How I Fought to Get a Great Education and Scholarships for My Children and Others. Fantastic book. Over the years, she has helped many students, including her own, get free money and scholarships for college, travel abroad, enrichment programs such as science and technology, leadership, and much, much more. Her dedication to helping children thrive academically has helped students receive over $10 million in scholarships. That's staggering. That is awesome. Rhonda's goal is to help families obtain every scholarship available to garner the best education opportunities possible. So here to discuss her book, Warrior Mom, we welcome Rhonda Lyle. Welcome to the Writer's Haven.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate being here. I am just thrilled to be here with you today.
I am so excited to have you here because this is a resource that I know many people will want to get their hands on. So tell us a little bit about the book and what inspired it.
Well, what inspired the book is over the years, I just started finding like all of these resources for my kids, starting out as early as my daughter got her first scholarship when she was in 5th grade at 10 years old. And it was not a program that was actually offering scholarships because they said, oh, you make too much money, you're not going to qualify. Well, my position was, I don't take no for an answer very easily. Mm-hmm. So I just pushed the issue. I had my daughter call them herself when she was 10 years old and leave a message. I'm really interested in doing this program. It really would be great.
I love
Can
that.
I send you a copy of my resume? Mm-hmm. Well, and I mailed them a copy of her resume. They got the resume. Next thing I know, $1,500 to do this week-long leadership program for a 10-year-old.
Wow. I love that you had her make the phone call
Exactly.
herself.
See, that's the thing that's so important for families to do. You know, sometimes moms like me are considered helicopter moms.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a helicopter mom and I didn't mind that title
Or
at
the
all.
mom with the cape, like the one that's in the book.
But you also want to get your children involved for advocating for themselves. So that was like very important for me. And that's why I'm always telling families and students, if you want to talk to me about something I say, put your child on the line. Let me talk to them. So I always start with that. I started a book club for my daughter when she was 5 years old because she loved to read. And I wanted her to maintain that love of reading. So I got together some of our friends from our school, and every quarter we would meet, read a book, and the kids would have to stand up in front of their peers and the other parents and talk about what they read. What did that help them do? It helped them become comfortable with standing in front of a group of people reading. It also helped them with reading comprehension.
Yes.
And then we would do an activity surrounded by whatever the subject of the book was. And so those were just the types of things that I was doing. And I also wanted not only my children to be involved with that, but their friends to be involved with that as well.
Yeah, that is awesome to not only have them engaged at a very young age, but also just the topic of what it is that they're engaging in. It's not, that they're talking about computer games, they're talking about their life, they're talking about their future. And you're helping them to hone in on that focus at a very, very young age. So the inspiration first came from your own children.
Right, from my own children, and then people just started looking at some of the things that they were doing and started asking me questions. Well, how did you get her in that? Or someone told me your child did this. And then I just started providing the information that, the church would have me come in and talk to people, the fraternities and sororities would have me come in, and groups would have me come in, and I would just give presentations, and everyone kept telling me, Rhonda, all of these resources that you have, you need to put it in a book. And so I had been told that and so I started, making little notes, and it took me a couple of years before I actually got it published, because I think when I first met you was 5 years ago. I was working on it. But finally, I just said, during COVID, what else was I going to do? We were all shut down for 2.5 years. So I finally put pen to paper, got it written, got it published, and so here I am today with you.
So you mentioned having workshops, seminars with organizations to really highlight that there's money out there.
There's money out there, free money out there, and we just need to go after it. And so because since my feeling was, I've already done the work for you, I can now share that information with you, because people are busy, and I was a working mom, but I was just one of these driven people. If there was something that was out there that was available for the children, I was going to try to get it. And I always asked for money. Whether they were offering money or not, what are they going to say? Yes or no? I got a 50-50 chance. And most of the time, whatever I asked for, I got, because I did my homework.
Right.
I would do the research ahead of time. So I knew it was something that these organizations could provide. Sometimes you just have to ask. You'd be surprised at what you can get when you just ask the question.
Right, right. $10 million in scholarship money is pretty impressive. When you started down this road with your children being your focus, certainly I know you weren't thinking about a number necessarily.
Absolutely not.
But what does that do to you? Like, to know that you've been able to help students, people, with a value of $10 million in money.
It made me feel like, you know, because obviously when you're doing this level of research and getting involved, it's taxing, you're working full time, you got kids involved in programs and you're trying to do things. But when I thought about it, I said, I can't keep this information to myself. I have to share this information with people. And as I started working with people, like some of my friends, you know, my kids got into private school, fully funded through A Better Chance. And my friends started, maybe we'll look into that. And then I told them about the programs. I would do information sessions at my house to tell them about the programs. It's these programs, you can get full scholarship to go to private school, for high school, for middle school. You can, you know, travel abroad. And what I would do was volunteer for a lot of these organizations because I needed to know how it worked. And I needed to see from the inside how these things work. So I would volunteer on Saturdays. I would take the kids and we would volunteer. And then I would just talk to other parents. And to be honest with you, a lot of times I would find out from people who would not necessarily share information with me. But if I'm in a room with them and I hear them talking about something, I would kind of hover around them.
Right.
You know, and it was even before we all had cell phones. I would always keep a pen and write something down on the palm of my hand so I could go home and research it later. And so that's how I just found out about information. It just kept coming in. And the more I found out, the more there was to find out.
Wow. Were there any partnering opportunities that were presented to you?
Not that, no, other than with A Better Chance, you know, they asked me to be part of their advisory board.
Okay.
And then I just started sharing information for a lot of the students that were coming through that program, because Department of Defense, they have these free programs for students here in Washington, D.C. and all over the country, where they pay the students to attend, starting from elementary all the way through high school. Who does that?
Right.
Who pays the children to go to and to do these programs with engineering and science and technologies? That the money is out there. One of my students that I mentored when she was 16 years old, her principal, school principal, we all went to the same church, said, you know, I really would like for you to work with this young lady and maybe see what you can help her do. And I had found out about a program that was sending students to Greece for a whole month, fully funded by the State Department.
Wow.
Worked with the young lady, helped her with the information that she needed. She applied, she got the position. And fast forward, she contacted me to say, I'm in a PhD program at one of the colleges here in Virginia.
Wow.
And she says, but I don't really have enough money to complete this program. Do you know any programs for me? Told her about this program, gave her some information, put her in contact with the right people who could help her. And she got fully funded PhD program at Virginia Tech. The money is there. You have to go after the money. You have to, and you can't be, see, I was never one of these people that were afraid to approach anybody. All you're gonna say yes or no. I got a 50-50 chance. You say no, you know, if I think it could be a yes, I'll pursue it. If it's like, well, you know, it's time to move on, I'll move on. But you just don't, you know, you give up and you just gotta kind of push forward.
Yeah, I think people may on the surface feel that those are unsurmountable goals or achievements in terms of being able to actually apply and actually get money. What would you say to someone who's like, yeah, okay, I know about this scholarship program, but my grades aren't that good, or my writing isn't that good to really document and answer the questions that I need to answer in order to even be considered. What advice do you give?
Well, I guess the advice that I
folks?
give to young people, don't limit yourself. And don't allow other people to limit you by saying, well, I don't know if your writing is good enough. Try it and be prepared for a no. I haven't always got yeses, but my motto is, and one of the things I talk about in the book, I don't accept no.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to give me no several times before I finally give up on you and I move on to the next thing that I'm going after.
Right.
But I just find a lot of people are just afraid of the no. They're afraid of putting themselves out there.
So they don't even
that's
try.
why at a younger age you have to get your children involved in advocating for themselves, asking for the things that they're interested in or they want, and not to be, because our world nowadays, they can really cut our kids down.
Yeah.
And we have to always be trying to build them up, give them the confidence to go forward and keep moving forward. Even if you're going to get knocked down, because I can tell you, I've been knocked down a couple of times, but I didn't stay down. And I don't expect any of our young people or the families that are working with them and trying to get their best, just keep pushing forward. And let me tell you something, there are scholarships for everybody. There are scholarships for C students. There are scholarships for girls who were 5'9" and taller. There's scholarships for left-handed people. There's scholarships for everything.
Wow.
And it's out there for our taking. You just have to go out. And so the purpose of that book is just kind of give the parents and people who work with young people the encouragement. You can do this too. Call me up. I'll do a free consultation for you for 30 minutes. And most of the time I end up 30 minutes, a whole hour on the phone, because that's just what I do. And it's what I like. I have a passion for it. And it's just what I love, sharing that information.
Have a passion for it.
Sharing the information with people and then pushing them to go after, because I can't do everything for you. I'm not going to write your resume for you.
Right.
I'm not going to write your essays. I had people who wanted to pay me a whole bunch of money to write essays for the kids. I'm not doing that. No, your kids, and if she or he going to get into this program, they have to do it with all the warts and typos or whatever. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it.
Right.
So you just kind of want to try to just encourage them and encourage the parents, because it's a daunting task. Sometimes it's harder, but I'm thinking, but the reward is so amazing at the end of it.
Absolutely.
The reward. And I think we talked about scholarships for people with disabilities.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
My nephew that I raised had a disability. I wasn't going to let that stop me.
Absolutely.
There were things, he was high functioning, there were things that he was able to do, and we got him into a program at George Mason University when he was like 9 years old. It was a pilot program to help people with disabilities and learning differences using computers, and he's now 34 years old. Okay. This was like he was 9 years old. And I got him into that program so that it would help him learn, and he liked working on computers. So that was the first thing with him. Then, fast forward, there were opportunities for him to, he did Special Olympics, and he was excellent at sports. And I highlighted those things. I always let people know, this is what he's doing as well. Just because your child has a special need, that doesn't limit them. Don't just let anyone say, oh, well, he's never going to be able to do this. And it didn't matter that he was special. He was right out there with all the regular kids doing things as well, and just participating. And then he got into a program for a college at George Mason called the Mason Life Program. It gave people with disabilities the opportunity to have a college experience at whatever level of learning that they were at. That program cost $22,000 a year, as if he were an out-of-state student. I just happened to be talking to this program, and he was another program he was involved in. I mentioned he got into the program, and I said, you guys wouldn't have some money, and she said, as a matter of fact, we do. They paid for his entire 4-year $22K.
Wow.
For 4 years at George Mason Life Program.
That's amazing.
So it's a matter of just asking the question.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
not being afraid to approach people.
So let me ask you this: are you finding that the grant money, the scholarship money, is still at a good, healthy account, or is it decreasing?
No,
is it increasing?
It's not. You know, some of them have changed from what, you know, maybe 20 years ago what was offered, but now there's always new things. And then the issue is, I keep hearing people, we don't have enough students applying for these programs. And so I'm constantly sending information out to students. I'm inviting them and their families to come to my house. Let me sit down and talk to you guys about this. Let me walk you through the process on what you need to do, how you need to ask. Another student that I've been working with recently, she just got almost $300K for college. She's a senior this year. Another young lady, a young
senior in high
professional,
school.
she's senior in high school. Another young professional that I recently met, I told her about this program she had never heard of, Fulbright. Guess what? Before I came here this week, she got it. She had never heard of it. I said, this is what you need to do. Put her into touch with people who have done it, because I've worked with people. I've been on panels with all people who are part of these programs, and that's how I find out about a lot of these programs. And I always keep everybody's cards, phone numbers, so that I don't care, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. If I need something for you, I'm going to remind you who I am, and I'm going to get back with you and say, okay, I need you to help this person with this, or I need you to give me information about that. So it's just a matter of just kind of going for it.
Wow, wow. So what can people expect when they pick up the book and they open it? Obviously, from the title, they know what it's about and have an idea of what to expect. But what should they expect? Should they expect resources that you've already researched and they can just tap into it for whatever it is that they're looking for, whatever kind of scholarship? Or should they expect information on not just the resources, but a how-to on writing the best resume or the best essay?
I give examples of one of my daughter's resume is in there. I give a list of some other resources on there, obviously very limited. And then I tell people, you know, get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook, you know, I have my Facebook account, you know, contact me. First buy the book, obviously.
Yes, of course.
You know, and then get in touch with me. Because anybody who gets in touch with me, I would give them 30 minutes. And I will say, what is it specifically that you need? And then after that conversation, I provide them with a list of, based on what they've told me, usually it'd be between 5 and 6 things that I think that they may be interested in that they need to pursue. Yeah. And it's just it's kind of like my story. Yeah, was it all easy? Did I have ups and downs? Did I have people, you know, look at me, well, what are you doing here? You're not even a teacher. I would invite myself to teachers' meetings. You know, one of the schools had Marva Collins. Marvin, oh gosh, she used to be a teacher in Chicago, and she started her own school. Marvin Collins, I think, you know, author of several books, did exceptional well starting private schools, you know, free schools for primarily primarily teachers, and they invited all the teachers. Well, a teacher just made the mistake of mentioning to me that she was going to be there, and I invited myself. I took the workshop with them. They didn't know I wasn't a teacher. I went to a Mensa program that's for the people with high IQs, where this woman was traveling around the country asking parents, or not parents, but school administrators to consider minority students for the Mensa program within their schools. Even if their scores weren't quite there, but the program would help them, you know, have opportunities for different things. And a lot of the administrators and the teachers in the room, they were completely against it. Well, even though I wasn't supposed to be there, I spoke up, and I was telling them all the reasons why this is a good thing, you need to do this. Try to encourage students. Don't sit back and just worry about your workload. And guess what? Moms like me, if you need me, I'll come volunteer and help you in your class, because I used to do that all the time. I volunteered in the classrooms, and as I said, any information, that the things, programs that I wanted my children involved in, I would volunteer to find out how it worked from inside.
Right. I love the success stories that you have in the book. You know, when you just kind of chart out the journey of how different individuals, your children, went about, and you went about seeking funds to basically finance their dreams, finance their goals, and the message of you can do this and you can make this happen, and here are resources that are available to you. And I think you're right. There's so many parents that just don't have a clue, and the schools aren't necessarily sending that information.
Yeah, and they can't do it all. A lot of times other people like me need to help, and the parents need to be a little more vocal and just not always accept the no when they ask a question. And obviously, I worked in partnership with the teachers. At the beginning of every year, I would send a letter or an email to the teacher introducing myself to them and my child to them, and the expectations that I had of my child, and if there's any issues, we're going to work as a team together. And it worked well, because as soon as the teachers know that you are a parent that's interested, then obviously there were some teachers that, oh gosh, one of those parents who just think they know everything, going to try to come and tell my job. I didn't tell you how to do your job. I'm going to make it easier for you to help my child. And while you're helping my child, you're helping somebody else's child as well.
Right.
And a lot of the teachers, appreciated that. Some didn't, but that was okay too.
So since you've written the book, and when was it published?
I published it in 2021. So is December 2021.
Okay,
Yes.
so is this a ever evolving kind of area?
I am planning to do another book.
Okay.
Where I expand on more specific things than, because this is more like an overall view of things.
Yeah.
So you're
going to get down into some specifics in the next.
Yeah, more specifics in it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's.
So now I think I'm a writer, so.
Well, because you are. And what I love about the book too is just and I'm going to use the word simplicity only in that it's an easy read.
It's an easy read.
And
it has pictures in it.
And not only Dreamcatchers, not only are there pictures, but they're colorized pictures, which I love too. They're not black and whites, and they're beautiful pictures. And there's a lot of pictures in press releases where you just you wanted to visually show the achievements outside of reading about them. But what I love about it too is, again, it's an easy read. You can just kind of see your heart in it, your passion in it, your passion for what you do. I'm just curious to know, I know you said the inspiration has started with your kids, but you didn't have to do this, meaning share it. You could have kept all that little information to yourself.
Why? There's enough information out there to go around for everybody.
Yes.
Why keep it to yourself? It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
And as many people as will listen to me, I will give you what you need to help you on your quest as you move forward with helping your own child and even your own self. I even had one woman who reached out to me. Someone gave her my phone number. 62 years old, wanted to go to law school. She says, well, I know you're.
Did you say 62?
62 years old.
Okay.
62 years old. She said, well, do you know about anything for, women who want to go to law school? I'm like, yeah. So I gave her information. So it's not just for college, it's not just for kids, it's for anyone who wants to do something in their lives. And there's, literally, there's scholarships for everybody. And it's for everybody.
I love this. And I am so happy to talk about your book, to promote it in the way that I can on this show, to make sure everybody knows about it and hears about it.
Oh, and the study abroad there. My kids have been to China, they've been to Kazakhstan, they've been to Spain, they've been to South Africa.
And didn't have to pay a dime.
Funded by the U.S. State Department.
Wow.
Our tax dollars. And I'm telling you, take advantage of your tax dollars out there for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. So where can people go to connect with you? And you said you're on Facebook.
Right. I have an author's page. So if you go into author Rhonda Copeland Lyle, you can connect with me on Facebook. You can also get the book on Amazon.
Okay.
And you can also get it on Barnes & Noble online. And you get in touch with me. I have an email address there. If you get in touch with me, we'll connect and I'll have a chat with you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're a maverick. You are a force to be reckoned with, and I'm so glad that you've written this book, that you have provided a resource that people can look at and depend on, and you have to come back when you finish your second book.
Oh, absolutely.
So that we can hear more about what you're doing and more success stories. That 10 million is going to be a number increased, probably 2-3-fold. So just waiting to hear about all of that. So
yes,
thank you so much, Rhonda, for being here.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Dreamcatchers, thank you for joining us today. And keep watching, because we have so much more to share with you this season. You can stream this show on any of our 9 streaming platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and the #1 network in the continent, the American Legacy Network. I'm also very excited to announce, and I would love for you to be a part of this, The Haven will be globetrotting. That's right, we are taking this show on the road. Our show will be taped at some of your favorite destinations, and if you want to join us as a professional writer or dream catcher, go to our website at www.writershavenshow.com for more information. I want to see your faces in the places, so definitely tune in and be a part of that very, very big and exciting undertaking that we're about to engage in. You can also go to our website for information on where and how to tune into our broadcasts. So that's all for now, and until next time, catch fire on purpose.